Hey, this is Bigg Hardcore, and welcome to another episode of Buy, Avoid, or Wait for Sale. Now, this is a review of Outriders, which, yes, I know it is available for free on Xbox Game Pass if you're getting the console version. It's not actually available on Game Pass for Windows, so if you do want to get it on any other platform apart from the Xbox console, you have to pay for it. So, this video is really going to be going through my thoughts on the game. Yes, I know there are some issues with the game, which I will go through during the video. But basically, I'm going to be saying whether I think it's worthwhile getting, even considering the issues. So before I continue, if you do find this video useful, please hit the like button, and also if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button because it really does help me out. Right, let's get into it. Okay, so the story starts off with a group of soldiers landing on the planet Enoch. They'd been in a 83-year journey from a dying Earth to Enoch, which has been seen as humanity's last hope of survival. The soldiers land on the planet to collect some probes which will help with the colonization of the planet before the rest of the population land, but things go horribly wrong. And without spoiling anything, your character ends up in cryosleep for another 30 years. After waking from cryosleep, the character finds out that there's actually a war going on the planet. You'll get to choose whether you play as a male or female character, and the customization options are actually pretty basic. It could have been better, but it's not really what the game's about. I don't know if they're going to improve it in an update later on. Maybe they will, but it's nothing spectacular. But when you complete the prologue, you will get to choose which path you want to go down when playing the game. So you got 4 paths to choose from. There's the Technomancer, which is the one for if you want to use gadgets. So certain abilities are things like a turret which shoots out like ice to freeze your enemy. You can get like a rocket launcher as well. There's an ability which restores your health and can also restore the health off some of your gadgets. Little proximity grenades. This is actually the one that I'm playing through as at the moment because I found it quite useful. There's the Trickster, which is the one used for zipping around the area pretty quickly. You can use it to teleport behind a sniper that might have you pinned down. It has this move where you can literally disintegrate your enemy's body with one slash. There's the Pyromancer, which I'm also using. I actually use this one when doing live streams. So this one, as the name suggests, involves fire. So you can send like waves of fire at your enemies. You can snatch health from enemies as well, which comes in very useful when you're running low on health. My favorite ability so far is the thermal bomb, which when the enemy's affected by it, if you manage to kill them while they're still affected, they will actually detonate and blow up whoever's standing close by. So this is definitely a useful skill, as also a very entertaining skill. Then there's the Devastator, which I don't actually think he's anyone's favorite class, but he does have his uses. Like he can send an earthquake over to enemies, which does cause some damage. He's got the gravity leap, where you can strike enemies from above, and the reflect bullets. Now this skill is actually pretty cool. Basically, he puts up a shield which catches bullets, and then with the push of a button can send them back to the enemies. Which, I mean, is alright. He's not a great character. I suppose once he's been upgraded and I've unlocked some more skills, he might be better. But at the moment, it's just not the one for me. So at the moment, for me, it's the Technomancer and the Pyromancer, which are the best classes. What I do like is that each of the classes feel different with the gameplay, and the skills are unique to that particular class you're playing as. It's not like a case where you choose one class but it all just feels the same. Now for gameplay, it feels a lot like Gears of War mixed with Destiny. Now I'm sure you've heard that a lot by now, but it is actually the truth. It feels very similar. The violence is very graphic and very satisfying. If you shoot an enemy with a shotgun up close, you can see their bodies explode. A lot of the skills are actually geared around like gruesome deaths for your enemy, especially the thermal bomb, which is still my favorite. I'm also loving the boss fights. Now, I've only faced a few so far. I mean, there was the one against that altered enemy that was shooting out bolts of lightning, and I've also gone up against this giant spider in a volcano that's shooting lava out of his ass. Yeah, it's as crazy as it sounds, and it is as much fun as it sounds. Now, with the loot, yes, I've played looters before. Like the Division 2, I actually like that a lot, and also Destiny. But one thing with those, whenever like picking up different color loots, I'd never really paid that much attention to what they did when it comes to the weapons, because for me, I would just go with whichever had the best like damage. That's always what I went for. Whether it be standard, legendary, or whatever, I just went for like the one that's going to inflict the most damage. In this game, though, your weapons have like as many skills as you do. I've seen some crazy shit already in this game, and you know it just keeps getting better. It actually makes me want to go for better loot. I've seen guns which can freeze the enemy. I've seen one which when you shoot them, it will actually wrap them with a chain, which like sucks away some of the health. I've seen like these pistols that will actually bring down bolts of lightning. It's just so random and, you know, so great. And when it comes to armor, anything rare and above will usually have a perk which will like increase your skills that you've got, either by like the intensity or the cooldown of the skills. So, you know, there's a lot to choose from. I mean, for the first time ever, I've been playing one of these games and I'm actually checking the perks off each bit of loot or each weapon that I'm using, rather than just going for the most powerful or the one with the most armor. Now, for the difficulty system, rather than having your standard easy, normal, and hard and expert, they've actually got the world tier system. So the further you progress, the higher the world tier will go. And the higher the tier goes, the crazier the fights get, the tougher the enemies get. There's actually 15 world tiers, so that's 15 difficulty levels in the game. Tier 5 is actually listed as expert. That's crazy. As you progress your character and you're unlocking better armor and better weapons, it will help you deal with these higher tiers. Now, I'm happy to say that the side missions in this game don't feel like filler, and that's a good thing because there's a lot of side missions. Some of them will give you a little backstory into some of the characters, and others, I mean, I've now just come across bounty hunting missions and monster hunting missions, which are a lot of fun. And when I look on the map, I can actually see where each of those missions are located on each map. Oh, another thing, when you complete an area on the map, if you have to run back through it, unless you've got another mission activated, you can usually just run straight through it without having to face any enemies, which is pretty good. So that's another good thing. It makes it easier for backtracking. Now, although you can have up to 3-player co-op on this game, it plays just fine playing as solo. You don't actually need anybody else, which is great because I don't actually have any friends who are also playing this game. Now, there is matchmaking, which can be extremely frustrating, not just because of the server issues that the game adds on its opening weekend, but also because other random players can be complete arseholes. They will just kick you from the game if they don't like the class you're playing, or if you're not at high enough level. And also, if you join matchmaking from the loading screen, it will just put you into any random match. Because I tried this, and although I was on a world tier 7 and much further in on the game, it actually put me back down to like world tier 3, and much earlier on in the game, which I didn't want to play. If you try matchmaking while in game, from whichever location you're at, it will actually find a match around like the same area as you. For some reason, players don't want to chat. And this is something that I've always found irritating with these co-op games. So you're joining, they're not communicating, they run off and do their own thing, and then, you know, just when things are getting good, you just get kicked. It's not for me. I'm sticking to solo play. Now, although I'm really enjoying this game, there are some things that I just didn't like or just can't really make sense out of. Now, the first thing, and this is probably the biggest thing, and you may have heard this already, but I don't understand why, for a game that has optional, and I'll say this, optional co-op, so it's basically a solo game, why you always have to be online. There were some occasions during the opening weekend where I wanted to play this game and I couldn't because of the server issues. Why is there no offline mode? There definitely should be an offline mode, as co-op is not essential. Then there's other little things like if you want to jump from one ledge to another, you have to have a cutscene, which is just ridiculous to me. Like fades to black, you have a cutscene, then fades to black again, and then you're back in, you're back on the mission. So that's really, really stupid. You can't completely skip most cutscenes, which is a little bit annoying, because especially if you're replaying missions just to, you know, to build up XP or whatever, you can't actually skip all the way to the end. You can only skip lines of dialogue, and there's a lot of lines of dialogue in some of these cutscenes, so that's annoying. I'm playing on the PS5 version, but it doesn't actually make use of the DualSense controller. It's got basic rumble features, which are all good, but it doesn't use the haptic feedback. It doesn't use the adaptive triggers, and also you can't pause the game, which is another annoying thing, because sometimes, you know, I want to switch from my shotgun to a sniper rifle, because you can only have 3 weapons equipped at a time. You got 2 main weapons and a sidearm. So sometimes I might want to take out a sniper, so I want to switch to a sniper rifle. If I go to the gear menu to actually change weapons, to equip different weapons, the game's still going on in the background, and in some cases they've actually rushed me and killed me because of this. I guess that's to do with it being always online. There's also a few weird graphical glitches that I've seen, which I'm sure have probably been fixed in patches by now, so nothing major. But I have noticed that in some of the cutscenes there's like a shaky cam and a bit of a delay before you can actually continue as well. But again, nothing major. These can definitely just be fixed in patches. So now for the verdict. Should you buy, avoid, or wait for sale? Now, if you're playing on Xbox and you have Game Pass, it really is a no-brainer. Just get the game, because it is a decent game. It's a fun game as well. So it's actually one of the more impressive ones that I've seen on Game Pass recently. If you're getting it on PlayStation or PC, I would still recommend getting the game, because like I said, I'm having quite a lot of fun with this game. Now, the reason why I got it on PS5 rather than my gaming PC is because there were some stability issues when playing the demo, and I just didn't really want to deal with any bullshit when I started playing the game, and I managed to get it at a decent price anyway. But if you are interested in getting it on PC, check the link in the description, because I'm going to put a link for a place where you can get it pretty cheap. I mean, I've seen it for like £35-36, so it's pretty cheap. And on PS5, although it's not using any of the features of the DualSense controller, it's still worthwhile getting. I haven't played it on like last gen consoles, so PS4, Xbox, but graphically it looks like it would actually run pretty well on those anyway, because it's not the most next gen looking game I've seen. It looks more like an older, like PS4 Pro in its prime, kind of game. One thing I would say though is, if you are worried about the bugs, if you don't have as high a tolerance for bugs as me or some other people, I would say, you know, give it like a month or so, wait for it to drop in price. By then they should have fixed the majority of the bugs. I mean, they've been rolling out patches and the game has improved since launch anyway. But, you know, if you're worried about bugs, just wait for sale. But either way, make sure you get the game. Right, so if you enjoyed the video, please leave it a like, it really will help me out. And also, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and check out some other content. Thanks for watching.